What's going on, everybody? This is BroncoJuggalo, and tonight I am going to be doing a review of the 2016 horror film, The Windmill. The Windmill is a Dutch horror film, and over in Holland, the title for The Windmill is actually The Windmill Massacre. Personally, I prefer the Dutch title better. So I was just cruising Netflix and looking for a new horror movie to watch, something I haven't seen yet, and I came across this one. And I decided, you know what, let me give it a try. I'm probably going to say this guy's last name wrong, and I apologize for that. It was directed by Nick Jongerus and stars Charlotte Beaumont as Jennifer, our main character. A smaller actress from some European television, was also in the film Jupiter Rising. So just to let everybody know, there will be spoilers in this review. This is a spoiler review. To give you a basic rundown of our synopsis, we have a group of tourists who go out on a tour bus to see the real Holland. And they break down at a windmill, and there is a killer demon miller on the loose at this windmill. How the demon miller goes about killing and dispatching these people is he causes them to hallucinate, to have visions of their biggest sin, of their greatest sin. And while he's doing that, he kills them. And he kills them in some pretty grotesque ways. Towards the end of the film, we find out that the bus driver, Abe, is actually in league with the demon. It is his master, and he helps the demon gather the innocents that are there, and he dispatches the innocents for the demon. And he also helps take out anybody that has stepped out of line or figured out how to destroy the demon. Jennifer takes out a knife and slices Abe's neck. It starts spurting a lot of blood because she hit a major vein, and we assume that he dies. We assume that everything is okay, and the two final characters are going to be fine. The two final survivors are our main character, Jennifer, and the young innocent boy named Douglas, whose father was killed earlier in the film. As we think that everything is done and over, and we think that they're safe, the demon miller comes out of nowhere and kills Jennifer in a very grotesque manner, which is absolutely awesome in my opinion. After we see this happen, it fades out, and we find out that Abe, the bus driver, has survived. He had his wounds tended, and he is going to pick up more victims for this demon. And that's how the film ends. Overall, I have to say, these people did a great job on this movie. I'm going to get into the pros and cons, but I want to say how much I really enjoyed it. I think it was a really good film. There is some mixed reviews. A lot of people called it just a generic horror film, but I thought it was really good. I really enjoyed the twists of the bus driver Abe being in league with the demon, and I really enjoyed the fact when you thought everything was safe, it really did give you that sense. And we all know that the killer always tries to come back one more time, but we really thought that Jennifer was going to be the final girl, and he got her. The demon miller got Jennifer at the end, and it was unexpected, and they really sold you on it. I think they did an awesome job on this film. The directing was good. The acting was good. And that's what's going to start off my pros. The directing, the acting, the production of this film, all were very good. I thought about including this film in my B-movie, B-bad or B-good series, but just because it's a foreign film does not mean that necessarily that it is a B-movie. It didn't have really any box. It had a very, very, very limited release in the US and in Europe. It only made $90,000 in the box office. But I don't think that was the point of the film. Technically, could we say this is a B movie? I honestly can't answer that. It didn't feel like a B movie to me. Now, it may be a smaller budget film, it may have been a foreign film, but it did not feel like a B movie. So I'm not going to put it in that segment. I actually do have a video coming up, though, for that segment. Sorry, got off on a bit of a ramble there. To continue on with my pros, another very big pro of mine was the kills. Very creative, very gory, and they were very detailed and very intense. And we had everything from a disembowelment to a guy's head being stomped to pieces, just totally crushed. We had a strangling decapitation where the demon is strangling a guy with a rope, and then he pulls it so hard that it decapitates the guy. The gore in it was just awesome, as far as if you really like that stuff, which in this I really enjoyed it. It wasn't so over the top gory that it was disgusting. It was like the perfect amount of gore. It was very gory, but not so much that you just thought it was a gore fest. That's all. Another pro for me is the look of the Miller. I thought it was really good. He looked really cool. I really enjoyed it. My final pro is the practical special effects. I thought they were very well done. All the kills looked really good. The disemboweling looked good. Everything that was practically done in the film looked really good. I can see where people got the idea that this was kind of a mashup of Jeepers Creepers, Friday the 13th, and A Nightmare on Elm Street. That is what some of the critics said about it, and I can see where they got that. But I think this movie does stand alone on its own as a decent horror film. So, going into my cons for this film, throughout most of the film, it was a basic, generic horror plot. And there were some very convenient plot points in it. It wasn't until the third act that they changed it up a little bit so that it wasn't just a cookie cutter copy of some other horror movies. And I like that they did that. I understand using templates that are already in place because it makes filming a lot easier. But I'm glad that they did at that point go away from that and give it an identity of its own. But that is a little bit of a con for me, is throughout a lot of the film it was kind of a basic, cookie cutter plot for a good bit of the film. The only other con I have for this film is that the CGI effects, namely the ones used in the end with the fire and the miller and the mill being burned, the CGI effects were not great. It looked a little too computerish. It looked a little too fake. It did not have that realistic look to it. But that's pretty much it, guys. Those are my only cons. I really liked this film. It was a good movie. At least I thought it was. I'm not saying it's the greatest film of all time or anything like that. Don't get me wrong. Don't sit there and be like, oh man, BroncoJuggalo, he's a fucking idiot. This movie's terrible. You may think that. If you think the movie's terrible, that's fine. You don't have to like everything I like. So my overall thoughts, guys, is it was a decent slasher. Definitely check it out on Netflix. And if you find it at your local store and it's not too much, go ahead and pick it up and buy it. Don't spend $17-18 on it. This is a horror movie that, while in my opinion it is pretty good, it's not one that you're going to want to go and spend top dollar on. Look for it in your value bins. Look for it on eBay. Get it cheap if you want to buy it. If not, check it out on Netflix. It's definitely worth the hour and 25 minutes of the film. So anyways, guys, that is it. This has been another review by BroncoJuggalo. Go check out The Windmill, and I will see you guys later.